everyone, and welcome to your Saturday morning news team. My name is Jules Gill, aka the geography teacher, thanks to my glasses, as a few of you pointed out, and I'm joined by the man who always hangs outside of the chemistry lab, whether we want him to or not, Phil Chambers.
Hi.
And we're here on the weekend, which can mean only one thing. We've got some news for you, and that can mean only one other thing, and that is to hit that jingle.
No, Jules, we've been through this many, many times. It's not happening.
Every time you do it to me, a little piece of me dies. I hope that will not become a storyline aspect in the few weeks leading up to Christmas. But also, if we're not going to do that jingle, can we at least have a new one?
Yeah, okay.
3, 2, 1.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the news time?
Yes!
Terrible. What are our stories?
Today we're talking about the Fiend. He's got a new belt.
That's my story.
I'm saying that we're doing the rundown.
I do that bit though.
Fine, you do that bit.
Bray Wyatt has a new Universal title.
Awful.
It's new.
Awful. We're talking about Jerry Lawler. He's got a new contract apparently, and also
Huge. Honestly, SmackDown face turn. There you go.
And also Ethan Carter III might be a nonce hunter. I know, yeah. Don't worry, we'll get to it.
Let's just move on from that. To Bray Wyatt. He was promising a new face on the Firefly Funhouse. Turns out that face is his own face, slapped on a terrible championship belt. He was saying that he's got a brand new toy, and it's his new favourite toy, obviously, the Blue Universal title. But the Fiend needs a new toy as well. So I'll just show you some pictures. Here, look at it. Isn't it gorgeous?
I did a very long exhale there. You might have noticed, because my God, this looks like absolute pants.
Yeah. Here's some photos. Here's some more photos.
And looking from it from a different angle. Is it better? No, it's not.
No, it's really not.
I know it sounds like we're really cynical about this sort of stuff because I bloody love the Fiend. I feel like he was a great thing, but this might well be the death knell for him because
he is their new merch selling machine. We reported the other day that he is the top merch seller, and they are jumping on board with that with this new title because this is really bad.
Do you think that this is an exercise of how far we'll follow something into the grave? Because it feels
Possibly,
like it's like, oh, okay, Muscle Man comes out, oh, silly, yeah, fun man, and then it's like, oh, there's a puppet, oh, silly, yeah, we're still with it, and now it's just kind of like he's got his own face on the belt. It makes no sense because technically, why would he have that? I mean, that's the whole point of the Lantern is killing himself. So why is he glorifying himself at the same time? He's meant to be a lampooning for Mr. Rogers, but now he's just a corporate shill.
The Firefly Funhouse segments on SmackDown were actually quite fun. There was a whole bunch of them. He brought back the Muscle Man dance and he did a Muscle Man rap, which was quite entertaining. But yeah, it was basically just a big vehicle to push a rematch against Daniel Bryan, which looks like it's going to be happening. And this new face on his belt. It kind of looks like that cheap plastic mask that you get on WWEshop.com, but it's kind of stretched and slapped on this terrible belt that someone's just drawn "Let Me in Sharpie on.
Like all of the elements separately, they're kind of okay because they are because it's like they understand like the stretching of the skin, like that could be like the thing, like John
like
Carpenter's
his mask, I guess.
That could be
it's
cool.
all like stitched together like a horror movie type thing.
It should say "Let him in."
It says "Let" on one side and "in" on the other side of the belt, but it doesn't say him in the middle because it's just got his face. So I guess "Let Bray's face in." But if he ever wore it round his back, it's just going to say "Inlet" on his ass.
Which just fantastic. I don't know where you go from here, but at the same time,
sell more crap.
Well, I mean, he's releasing it just around the time of Christmas. Oh, what a surprise!
I do have news on the replicas coming out. WWEshop.com tweeted out last night saying a limited quantity of first-run, custom, handcrafted titles by the Tom Savini Studios. Sorry, Tom Savini, this is not your finest work. Will be available. They said tomorrow, but that'll be today. So at some point today. The probably insanely, ridiculously expensive, limited edition, numbered, handcrafted
I hate
titles
this.
will be out. If this is the handcrafted one, I really can't wait to see the cheap plastic one that they sell to kids for $15.
No, that's the thing. Like, I just don't. I hate it when they do this. This like fake supply and demand as well, where it's just kind of like it's a limited edition. It's like you have the facilities and means to produce tons and tons of them, but you're choosing to limit this because A, you think it won't be successful, or B, you just want to jack the price up.
Yeah. Anyway, also a new face on the Firefly Funhouse, I guess, is Daniel Bryan's face. Sorry, because at the end of SmackDown. Bryan was saying that they're like bringing back the Yes movement. It was the fans that like truly unleashed the true Bryan within. And then out pops Bray Wyatt from underneath the ring, pulls him down, and then he just kind of chucks him under and then just comes out with handfuls of hair like he's tearing the beard off Daniel Bryan's face.
Which
this heavily teased new face of Firefly Funhouse is either his own face on a terrible, terrible championship belt or Daniel Bryan's face just with a beard torn off.
I don't want to see a shaved Daniel Bryan again. He looks better when he's all like the crazy sort of vegan-y thing. But yeah, there we go. So yeah, Bray Wyatt's got a new face. That's fantastic. Where do you go from there? In terms
Anywhere.
Do you want to talk about Ethan Carter?
Yeah, let's do that.
Right. Okay. So before hinted that he was a nonce. Not actually the story, but I just wanted to get you invested because it actually is better than that. So what happens is that since the 30th of September, he's been off TV, and a lot of people have been speculating as to why. Dave Meltzer said that the fact that he was in a match with the Lucha House Party, he received a concussion. And that was why he's been off TV. But you will admit he's had a pretty rough year.
Yeah, it's not been great.
I mean, when he debuted, he came in as one of the best talkers in the business at the time and was given a role where he didn't speak.
Yeah,
so
his little red cup got more over than he did.
So that was pretty stupid. And then a lot of people were jokingly speculating that he was off TV because of the fact that his nipples were too big, so that he was breaching sort of decency laws. But the rumours have been put to bed because of the fact that it turns out that the reason that he was off TV is to shoot this incredible promo that he released on Twitter. He addresses the crowd in a very solemn and sobering way where he just talks about, difficult years and trials and tribulations and where it's going to be next, and that he had to even pray for an answer to what his current predicament was.
We should say, if you want to watch this, probably go watch it now and then come back, because we will ruin the punchline.
And then it was just like it's just, it leads in and in and in, and eventually he just turns around and just goes, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. That was his lead up. That was his pun.
I have never been a fan of EC3 until this very moment.
Could you say that you saw that coming? That he would use his platform to have a go at monstrous nonce Epstein and basically just say, he didn't kill himself, because in the recent news, Epstein
huge swerve at the end.
He hung himself.
Yeah.
But there is speculation as to whether or not he did actually kill himself or not. And considering the rap sheet that the man has for himself, it's not hard to see why he wouldn't have very many friends ever. But still, the question now is, has he been off TV because he was the one that killed him? I
don't think so. I don't think they're going to go quite that far.
I would not say that is an angle that you should...
EC3 nonce hunter, I'm on board.
Could you imagine that? Just like the 1%er?
Is he just going to be like the truth outer? He just says inconvenient truths that nobody likes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It was an incredibly weird promo, but now I feel like everyone who would watch that was just kind of like, wait, what? What the hell?
He'd obviously seen the rumours circulating about, speculation about where he'd been and things like that, and just thought, I've got an idea. Let's troll everybody.
And that's when his character is the best, because he's a man that he exudes a great amount of charisma. I mean, he's worked for the WCW when it was back in the day, didn't he? He came and did some stuff.
He did, yeah.
Yeah. So, and from reports that people who worked with him there, he said he was very, very charismatic, very, very easygoing, easy to get on with. So I just feel like he's a person that needs more showtime to get over what type of personality he is. So if this is going to get him back in the good books, not entirely sure if it's the most direct way of doing it, but still, yes, he's back on the map and back on the radar.
Good fun, though.
Yeah, it is.
Speaking of people who are back on the radar, Lacey Evans.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not as high as I pitched this in the opening. Lacey Evans is a face now. Oh, as someone mentioned on Twitter, Facey Evans. I'm going to credit whoever that was, because it was too entertaining.
What's the deal with this then?
She came out on SmackDown, basically. Bayley and Sasha Banks came out on SmackDown, and they were talking about how utter rubbish the SmackDown team is, and all of SmackDown was at Survivor Series, saying that the women's division is utter crap and they are the absolute best. But it wasn't their fault that they lost, it was everybody else's.
Classic, blaming other people for your own mistakes.
Of course.
Good,
and then out comes Facey Evans to, basically say that they're wrong and SmackDown's great, and then they had a fight. Right. She just came out, she women's righted Sasha Banks, she went straight down, Bayley was having none of it, and then off she went. No explanation as to why she's a face now. She just kind of does the exact same shtick, but says it against the heels instead of against the faces, and that's pretty much it.
It would be okay for her to be a face But for her to come out and use the exact same thing that she has already been doing as her own gimmick as the reason to not... It's like, oh, it's all your fault. The WWE Universe is to blame. Lacey Evans coming out after she basically berates every single person, posts those horrible meals that she has on Instagram, and then just basically is like, oh, it's disgusting, and it's all your fault because you're a service worker.
And just now, instead of calling fans nasty, she's calling Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. Not Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks.
Pathetic writing. Pathetic.
So yeah, that happened. Also on SmackDown, Roman Reigns had a match against Robert Roode. After the match, Robert Roode was going to smack him with the scepter because his head was on a chair, but he moved out of the way. Superman punched him and attacked him after the match. It kind of flipped out a little bit. He speared him through the barricade and then tipped the announce table on top of him. During the advert, they were stretching off Robert Roode, and he came out again and he attacked him again, flipped him over the table. Superman punched Ziggler. So it looks like we're getting carrying on the Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns, but with a bit of Robert Roode in there. Don't know if they're going to go forward with Robert Roode or just against them three in general.
Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns again.
Carrying on.
Who wants that? Like, no offense, I'm not trying to bag on everything that happened this week, but just who wants that? Anyway.
What else have we got?
Let's close out on Jerry the King Lawler. Now, he is a man who is a veteran ring commentator, and obviously he's been joining the team recently on Raw ever since the brand split to basically usher in the two new personalities that are helping spread Vince's message of love and violence through to the masses. Now, the question always was he going to be a full-time fixture or was he going to be just like a part-timer? Well, according to very recent announcements, he has just signed a 2-year extension on a current contract that he's got where he will be continuing to help coach the two other people and basically move forward with them, getting them up to speed, and then he'll sort of step aside and let somebody else take over, which is a good and a bad thing, because after looking into the two new talents, it turns out that neither of them had very much sort of commentary experience before this.
Yeah.
Now, that was a really strange maneuver to put them into that position in the first place. It is their flagship show, and they've got two relatively green people there, and no offense to Jerry Lawler, he's no JR. I really enjoyed his Attitude Era run, but he was definitely...
Jerry Lawler hasn't been what he once was, and he still has a few.
He's the most problematic person that, like in terms of like the commentary. If you go back and look at any of his sort of like classic moments, like he's the one that's like definitely the one that would be in the doghouse.
He does really like puppies.
He does indeed. So maybe he'll put over Roman Reigns.
Maybe. I think having that much experience on an announce table can never be a bad thing when you're trying to train up two new people, but.
I think that it's a safe pair of hands in that sense, but I don't know if that's the way that I would want it to go for. I would rather them just go out and find people who are already established talents and try and bring them in, or like maybe even promote from within.
Not really their way. They need their WWE mouthpieces. They need their next Michael Cole, is what they're looking for.
Well, that's the strange thing, because they're almost taking their lessons that they teach in the ring with, like, the legends coming back and showing the youngsters how it's done, but applying it to the commentary thing, you only realise just how sort of archaic like Jerry Lawler's commentary style is. And it's the same with AEW as well, with JR. You look at basically who he's presenting with, and other people have so much more insight into the characters, and JR's only
JR
really
has been a lot better on AEW than he was when he was doing like WWE and things like that. But yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's like one of those things where like maybe it is time to pass the torch sooner rather than later, and 2 years is a long time. So as a support role, fine. I'm sure that the older fans really, really appreciate getting more time to see him, but let's just pray that he doesn't have to do any more sort of like food adverts, because remember when he tried to drink the Gatorade and he was the only one that tried to drink it and he almost looked like he grimaced when he did it?
And keep him away from the entire women's division.
Yeah, why not? Just for safe measure. But there we go. Those have been our news stories today. Let us know what you think about it down in the comments section below. Are you surprised, shocked, or just plain baffled? Let us know.
What do you think of that lovely new title belt too?
It's just awful, isn't it?
Go mad.
Yeah, just please.
Let us know.
I'll tell you what, just answer a question as well. If it's not the Fiend who's going to have his face on the belt, whose face would you like to see stretched out on a belt? I would just like to see more sort of like face designs on belts. But
I'd like to see our face on a belt.
Ooh, no. No.
You can have it kind of joined by the beards, and then like the belt comes out like like joined in the middle.
My problem is because of the lack of hair up here, I'd look like that Doctor Who enemy. The literal piece of skin that's just been like stretched over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep me moist. Anyway, if you want to follow me, you can do so at RetroJ with a 0 over on Twitter, and you can follow Phil at
Phil My Chambers, and send us a picture of that title belt of me.
Oh, no, please don't. That's awful. But yeah, I hope you have a fantastic weekend, whatever you are getting up to. And I hope to be back next Saturday. But like I said, storyline dictates that I'm getting weaker every week that I don't get to have my intro. Could that be a payoff for something of the new year?
Who knows?
Who knows? Am I heavily foreshadowing? Who also knows? But anyway, have a great day. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Gotta spell it out for him.
Are you ready?